אני אגיד כמה משפטים קצרים מאוד, אני מאוד נרגש. לפני שנה בדיוק איריס שיושבת כאן הציגה כאן במקום הזה את מפעלו העצום של ארי, We are honored. ואני עכשיו פה, הוא נותן לי ספר שבו יש בו תמונות מקיבוץ דורות שהוא ביקר בו לפני כ-40 שנה בשביל ללמוד את התנועה הקיבוצית, בשביל לעשות משהו בהשראת התנועה הקיבוצית בסרילנקה. אני חושב שאנחנו עכשיו יש ייצוא כפול, הפוך. דוקטור אריארטנה, או כמו שהוא מעדיף שיקראו לו ארי, ייסד וניהל ומנהל עדיין בצורה כזאת או אחרת במשך עשרות שנים את אולי הארגון הבודהיסטי הגדול ביותר בעולם של מעורבות חברתית, פוליטית, אבל בעיקר חברתית, עם העצמה ותמיכה וברשת עצומה של 15,000 כפרים. משהו יציב, מתפתח, עמוק, והכל ברוח בודהיסטית ובעקרונות בודהיסטיים, ואני חושב שבאמת ארי הוא מקור השראה לרבים מאיתנו, שאנחנו מנסים לדדות פה ושם בדרך של מעורבות בודהיסטית ועם כל הסיבוך שיש בישראל. והזמנו אותו, הוא נמצא כבר קרוב לשבוע איתנו, ועשינו גם כמה פעולות להתנאה של דברים, אז אני מאוד מאוד שמח ונרגש שהוא נמצא איתנו כאן. הנושא של היום, במקרה, לחלוטין, הייתה פה שיחה מאוד מאוד מעניינת לפני כמה זמן, שהתברר שהוא יהיה פה בשבוע הזה, שבו יש את הפגישה הזאת על הדרך כפולת השמונה, והוא תמיד מדבר שהדרך כפולת השמונה היא הבסיס שלו לעבודה החברתית שלו. ואז הייתה לי שיחה עם שני המארגנים, אמרתי, איך זה, תראו, איך כתבו לנו את התסריט. הדרך כפולת השמונה היא מופיעה בדרשה הראשונה של הבודה פעמיים, ואנחנו בדרך כלל מכירים רק פן אחד שלה, וזה כאמת הרביעית, שהיא להשתחרר מן הסבל או מן הדוקה, אבל היא מופיעה לפני זה, ממש בתחילת הדרשה, כתשובה לשאלה מהי דרך האמצע. ולכן זה שני פנים של הדרך כפולת השמונה, שאחת היא אולי איך לחיות, והשנייה איך לרפא, או דבר כזה. אני חושב שארי מגלם את שני הצדדים של האמת הרביעית הזאת, או של הדרך כפולת השמונה. מילה טכנית אחת. ארי ידבר באנגלית שלו. אנחנו ננסה לעקוב אחרי זה. איריס מדי פעם תביא איזשהו סיכום, לא תרגום אחד לאחד של הדברים, כי זה יהיה מסורבל מאוד וארוך מאוד. אנחנו מבטיחים, דיברנו אילן ואני קודם, אנחנו מבטיחים להביא תרגום מלא של ההרצאה שלו, של השיחה שלו באתר. אוקיי? אנחנו נעשה את זה, אנחנו מקליטים את זה, אנחנו מבטיחים להביא תרגום מלא, כך שמי שמחטיא כמה מילים עכשיו, יעזר בסבלנות.
כולל וידאו?
כולל וידאו, כן, אפשר יהיה גם לראות והכל, אוקיי? אז פליז.
Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to think aloud with you on a very, very important theme that is much needed in the confused world of today. I feel very fortunate to be in the company of Stephen Pulder, Stephen Jacob Brass, and Mr. Lottenberg, and also my dear sister who had come to Sri Lanka several times to help us, and then at last succeeded in getting me down here. Thank you very much.
Thank you for Peter.
Huh?
Peter.
Yes, Peter, who had funded it. I thanked him already several times. Anyway, I will try to keep to your time schedule. I'll try to make some introductory remarks, maybe half an hour, where you can, after that, have questions, and then at the end we can end up with the kind of meditation we do back home which is common to not only to all sections of Buddhists but also to all religions. Now the theme I have been asked to talk is about the Noble Eightfold Path. One thing that is different from us and most other religious followers of other religions is that we in our own minds are able to transcend the present to the past and future. When we listen to the teachings of the Buddha, he had mentioned many times how during so many world cycles in the past, living in different forms, sometimes human form, sometimes in the form of a lesser developed being or a higher level of existence like in heavens and celestial worlds, Brahmalokas, and how he struggled very hard for billions and billions of years without losing sight of what he wanted to achieve. He wanted to realize truth as it is, to see reality face to face. So time factor is unimportant to me personally, not this lecture but in life. When I commenced to translate some of these teachings into action in 6 areas, 1, as applicable to us as human beings, our own spiritual awakening. 2, as applicable to our family groups, to awaken the family as a basic human unit. Thirdly, to awaken our rural and urban communities to the fullest. Then to awaken the nation as a whole. Unfortunately, we are divided into countries and nations. That's a sign of our degeneration over times. In the past, anybody could go from anywhere to anywhere else in the world. There were no barriers, there were no visas required, no border guards, nothing. Outwardly you feel you are very developed, but when you go into the depth of it, human being has lost his freedom. So we have to awaken our nations and also awaken our world. Buddha, Bodhi means awakening. So this word was very attractive to me even as a child, because being born in a Buddhist family, in a village where not only Buddhists but Christians and Hindus and Muslims also lived, and then studying in a Christian school first, then a Buddhist school and a Buddhist university, and later trying to share these ideas with people of other faiths, people who had all kind of ideologies, and trying to find out a commonality which could be used to awaken the individuals, the family, the rural and urban communities, national community and the world community. So I was very fortunate in 1957 or 8 to come across an expression, a word which was coined by Mahatma Gandhi called Sarvodaya. Sarva in Pali or Sanskrit, it means Sabba in Pali, Sarva in Sanskrit. It means all. Udaya means to awaken. Udaya means morning, awakening. So Mahatma Gandhi linked these two words together to call it Sarvodaya. The moment I saw this word Sarvodaya, which he coined in Gujarati language, I thought this is common to our language too. We also have had Sanskrit, Pali, Prakrit, those languages as the mother languages of Sinhala. So I immediately thought this is the word we must adopt to introduce our philosophy to the people in the country and in the world. So, but the Sarvodaya philosophy at that time, we were implementing in a different way by gifting our time, thought, effort, energy, skills, education, everything. We could donate dana for the benefit of the poorest communities in our country. They would have been economically discriminated, socially ostracized, politically oppressed, without human rights being enjoyed, in spite of the fact that we call ourselves a democracy after 1948, after we got independence from the British. So, we thought we should add Sarvodaya in front of that word called Shramadana, which is sharing or gifting your labor. So we called our movement the Sarvodaya Shramadana movement. Sorry, you're translating. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't.
אנחנו פשוט רוצים לשאול אם אתם איתו מבחינת האנגלית, כן? בסדר? אנחנו פשוט, אין לנו דרך לשפוט רק לפי הפרצופים. אוקיי, אז הרבה כן, אז זה בסדר.
All can understand? Oh, thank you very much. That makes things much easier. Okay, so now the Buddha means awakening. If we are to be true Buddhists, we have to awaken ourselves, our own personalities. Now, we had to coin a word which ordinary human beings, not only the educated ones, could understand. So I coined a word called Paurushodaya, personality awakening. So Sarvodaya, pertaining to the individual, is Paurushodaya. Then, pertaining to the family, another word had to be coined. Now they are generally used. Kutumbodaya, it's both in Sinhala and Tamil. Kutumba means family, awakening the family. Then had to coin another word, awakening the community, Gramodaya. But not enough to awaken the community, but the community should be totally self-reliant and self-governing. Not self-reliant in everything. For example, a community which has no salt had to get it from outside. But self-reliance could be built, like you had in the kibbutz at that time, I don't know now, 50 years ago. Now, so I coined a word for that. Community awakening and community self-governance. Because we strongly believed, even at that time, the best communities in the world were those that existed in India at that time, and some Latin American, Asian, African countries, including Sri Lanka, where the communities were living together as independent village republics. They had their leaders, their own economic, social and political arrangements, but they were very peaceful. So we introduce the concept of not only community awakening but community self-governance. Similarly, city groups awakening, Nagarodaya, Nagara Swaraj, where the city councils can be more or less democratically do self-governance. Then the nation, Deshodaya, awakening the nation, and the world awakening the entire international community, humanity, we call it Vishodaya. Vishwa means universe, universal awakening. So we coined these words so that people could understand very easily what they were trying to do. Maybe to one of our gift of labor camps in a village comes a foreign person. He or she is not only having this awakening of her personality in mind, but also she is having in his mind, I am contributing to world awakening, Vishodaya also. So this way we try to integrate the whole thing. Because Buddha's teachings may be from so many sutras, he would have tried to explain what he discovered when he became a Buddha. But all those sutras finally lead to the same point, where Nibbana, the final attainment of a state where you cut the cycle of births and deaths so that no more we will have birth. When we have no more birth, we have cut the cycle of birth and death called bhava, chakra. And then, if we could apply these teachings found in the sutra in an appropriate way for the modern problems, without neglecting our own awakening. Now I have seen some people march for peace. They have a march, a demonstration for peace, in which I had never participated. Because they carry plaques. We want this, that and the other. Or they will shout, condemn other people. But there I have seen violation of part of the Noble Eightfold Path. We have led peace meditational walks and peace meditations where hundreds of thousands participated. The largest one, our aim was 1 million in one place. But we ended up with 900,000 because in certain areas, because of bloodshed, the war, they couldn't come. But even if 100,000 of us sit down, say, you don't need so many, say if 100 of us sit down here and truly shut down the 6 senses, the eyes, along with the eyes you have objects, whether you open the eyes or close the eyes, you have the eye consciousness. If you close the ears, ear consciousness will not come. Similarly, if you close the nostrils, olfactory or smell consciousness will not disturb you. Similarly, the taste, the body, and the mind itself. So there are 6 sensory organs which create sensations. When sensations come to our mind through any of these, we recognize them, and that is called perception. When we recognize them, we can either reject them or we can accept them. Both rejection and acceptance are bad because it creates volitions. Rejecting a bad thing is good, but it is the same like accepting a bad thing or accepting a good thing. Best thing is not to reject, not to accept. Equanimity. So when you bring the 6 senses under control, including the mind, then from contact, sensation and perception, you don't go beyond that. You don't create thoughts. I went to one of the most saintly and accomplished Buddhist teachers once. I went to him and asked him, "Sir, tell me in one sentence, how can I practice true Buddha's teachings?" He said, "Don't think. If you think, you will never realize. Stop thinking. Rest of it, you find out for yourself. If you can't, you come back to me." You see what is there in that? So, when you stop with perception and don't go to volition, you are on the path to spiritual liberation. And Buddha, therefore, very clearly explained to us as individuals how we can create peace within ourselves. We don't go to anybody, outside force, a God or creator or anybody to ask help. We have to go within ourselves. Even Tathagata, even Buddha told me, I am only, maybe I show you the way, but I can't take you on the way. You have to go on that path. And why did he go in this path? To put an end to suffering in himself and to help the entire humanity, whoever is mature enough to get over suffering. He thought, I should become a supreme Buddha. I should become a fully enlightened human being. And 2,600 odd years ago, seated under the Bodhi tree, he started with Anapanasati, breathing in and breathing out, and generating mindfulness on breathing. 32 different forms. You recognize, you are mindful that your breath is short or long. You are mindful that you breathe with the whole body and breathe out with the whole body, like that. There are 8. A second stage comes when you are concentrated enough, where you continue Anapanasati, meditation on breathing in and out, where you begin to see the emotional aspect, emotional part of your life. First the kaya, body, looking deep into it, looking deep into the emotions that arise in our minds all the time. Then looking at our own mind, how greed, ill will and ignorance all the time do every possible thing to make our life unhappy, miserable and suffer. Fourth stage, mindful breathing helps us to understand the Dhamma, the phenomena, maybe the Noble Eightfold Path, maybe the Four Noble Truths, maybe the 12 factors of dependent origination, Paticca, maybe Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, the three dharmas that we are subjected to all the time. So Anapanasati he practiced during the first part. Then he went a little beyond that, where he could develop higher powers than what the normal senses or sensory organs can give you. In other words, clairvoyance, which all that he developed. And also the various levels of absolute concentration. Having gone through those, he realized, having been a prince, born to a royal family, I have enjoyed self-indulgence which nobody has enjoyed. Therefore, I know what materialistic comforts are. I practice extremes of self-mortification, where even my colleagues who were with me there rejected me as dead. So neither of these extremes. Imagine the number of millionaires we have, billionaires in our country. Are they ever satisfied with what they have earned? They want more and more and more. One day I was with a lawyer friend of mine. He was our UN representative. He was a lawyer who earned very much, the highest earning lawyer. I told him, stop that craze for money. You have enough now. Your children have houses, your wife, though she was away at that time, at least now try to acquire some other form of wealth. Because our wealth can be material, our land, our shares, all that. But what about other forms of wealth? He was convinced. One day when I went to his house, there was nothing. Law books all gone. I am following you. Then I took a Buddha's image and told him. He was a Buddhist, so but how many Buddhists really practice Buddhism? Very few. One day, now he went to the other extreme. I said, that is bad. Middle path is what you should follow. Now, it's like drip irrigation, you know. If you put more water than necessary, the plants die. So, correct amount at the correct time. Don't try to attain Nibbana here and now. If you can, fine. But know your limits. Some people, they are fed up with their wives or husbands. They take to meditation and Buddhism. I know this personal experience. Not because they want to get enlightenment, but because they want to teach her a lesson. So I told my wife, if ever you get frightened and sick of me, don't go into meditation. Find some other way. Though she is also a meditator with me. Now, we have to convince other people, so that one night we were having dinner together with another friend. He was a billionaire, one of the richest people in my country. I said, look, my dear friend, I am a person who owns nothing. Even whatever little properties I had, my job I had, I gave up everything. Today I live more or less on whatever other people give me. But in spite of my poverty, I have built houses for the homeless, only second to the government of Sri Lanka. Help in education of children, only second to the government. Build hundreds and hundreds of miles of roads to inaccessible villages. Like that, even criminals who were murderers were turned to be good people. If I could do it as a poor man without money, but a very rich heart, why don't you spend some of your money for the betterment of the poor people in my country? This fellow laughed and laughed and laughed and said, Ari, you are a great man, but you don't have such men in the country. I am going to earn and earn and earn till I die, he said. So I kept quiet. My friend looked at me, okay, if that is so, go ahead. I went home. It was about 11:30 in the night. My telephone rang. Ari, very few people live up to their word. Our friend lived up to his word. Just now I got a call from his wife. He died of a heart attack. So I feel very sorry for people who have so much of money but who are not sharing with other people. If we can tell them this extreme of self-mortification and self-indulgence, you have to give up and find a middle way. I am not asking people to be poor. No, poverty itself is a bad thing. So you have to create a no poverty society. No poverty, no affluence is the middle path. And when you go in that middle path, coming now to the eightfold path, Buddha said there is suffering. This suffering has a cause, that is tanha. This cause, samudaya, it can be removed. Nirodha. And there is a path to the removal of that suffering. Then he said, Sammaditthi. You should have a vision. Your vision should be very clear. Nothing short of breaking the cycle of birth and death is my ideal. So I have that vision of being totally rid of suffering. Samadhi, understanding that everything changes every moment. If I am attached to anything that changes every moment, whether my ideas or whether my whatever possessions I have or relations I have, then that will bring about suffering when I lose them. So anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anatta is, though I think there is an I, me, mine, conventionally, in a society it's difficult to live. If you don't say, this is my book, this book is yours, like that, you have to have. But that is not reality. Reality is here. 5 elements from nature. Hardness or earth, liquidity, water, heat and air in space have created this, what I claim to be the body. And this body, when it has life, it has sensory organs. these sensory organs, they create sensations, perceptions, etc. Creating our mind finally, consciousness. So I am what I call I is these 5 physical and 5 mental components. So samadhi, samma sankappa. So if you have that mind, vision in your mind, then whenever thoughts arise, whenever intentions arise, you will find out whether those intentions are having greed, hatred and ignorance or the opposites. Similarly, when you utter your anything, speak, is that the truth? Will it bring about dissension among others? Is my language very harsh or pleasant? Or am I just engaged in talking useless things, gossip? So you are careful about your words. Similarly, you get rid of conducting yourself, bringing about wrong deeds. So, samma kammanta, right actions, actions not having anything to do with killing or stealing or sexual misconduct or lying or intoxication. Based on that, you create livelihood, samājiva. Samājiva. That's what we are trying today in Sri Lanka with our new economic experiments we are doing for the last 20 odd years. Then for this you need samma vayama, lot of determination, and then this determination ends up with mindfulness, right mindfulness and right concentration, samma sati and samma samadhi. So this noble eightfold path, avoiding the two extremes, if we follow in our personal life, a lot of our predecessors who have gone on this path, Buddha, Pacceka Buddhas, Arahants and other great people have shown that they can first begin with dana, sila, bhavana, giving, discipline and meditation. Then going to the next level, sila, samadhi, prajna. Discipline, very much higher discipline and concentration and wisdom. Wisdom will lead to, in his first sutra he said, wisdom will awaken your senses, chakku mudapadi. It will awaken your knowledge, jnana mudapadi. It should awaken your wisdom, panya mudapadi. When your wisdom is awakened, you begin to see suffering, the cause of suffering, the way it could be removed, and finally the path. And then you begin to find the science of doing it. Satara Satipatthana, insight meditation, vipassana. And then you break the bonds, all shackles are gone, aloka udapadi. You realize nibbana. You realize the light, aloka is light. Thank you. Please ask me questions.
You encountered in your struggle to help the community, the society. What were the difficulties?
what are the difficulties you encountered in trying to implement the Noble Eightfold Path for social development or development of our people? That is the question he asked. One, as practitioners, I would tell you that refuse to even consider you are faced with a difficulty. I'm talking from my point of view. Always there will be people who are self-centered. Atta means ego. The moment you are egocentric, what happens? Three evil energies take hold of you when you are egocentric. One is craving. You crave for money, power, recognition, all that. Second is that you compare with other people. Sometimes you are superior to them or inferior to them, like that weakness comes. Envious. So society is full of these people with this kind of false views. Therefore, whenever you are faced with a difficulty, much better without going to confront them, to extend loving kindness to them and tell them in simple words, if you are unhappy with me, you are free to do anything. There was a Marxist newspaper editor one day who came to me and said, sir, I came to apologize to you. I said, why? I had 48 headlines in my newspaper every weekend, all lies, just to prevent you from expanding or winning over people in your non-violent movement. I said, so that's what believe? Fine. I have never read any of those papers. When they bring my papers telling that I am being insulted, I said, please take it away. Sometimes people bring papers and say, you are being praised like this London economist, like that. I said, please take it away, because I am trying to practice equanimity. So we have numerous problems we faced, because we are trying to implement this in 6 areas. One, in the spiritual area, where the religious people with vested interests, they become people who first attack you. So they have to be educated. Today it doesn't happen. Everybody, we have even interfaith groups in all districts and sub-districts in the country who will go in case of any kind of conflict. 2, people who do not want, say, when we do anything against alcoholism or gambling or even smoking, things that people which will not do good to anybody, they also begin to oppose. So in the moral field also, business interests come. Cultural field also, culture means satisfying all your needs, physical, emotional, spiritual needs, etc., based on a spiritual and moral foundation. But today it's not that way. Culture is not defined that way. Then in the social field, education, health, peacemaking, human rights, all that, we have 8 components in the social field. Then economic field and the political field. In all these 6 fields, we try to apply the Buddha's teaching and then apply them in such a way that the Christians or the Hindus or Muslims also can accept the whole thing. So it's a very, very difficult task. But if you have as your goal final attainment of supreme enlightenment, when those difficulties come your way, you can consider that to be an opportunity to develop metta, loving kindness, an opportunity to develop forgiveness, akkodo, an opportunity not to give hatred. Now a president of our country between 87 and 91 used all the legal, illegal and extra-legal means to destroy me personally and the movement. He destroyed himself and we survived because we extended loving kindness. Loving kindness not alone. He sent me word. If you do not accept what I give you, I am going to do this, that and the other. He was trying to make me the head of state. I refused that. He got angry because I am not interested in power politics. I am interested in people's democratic, participatory, direct politics called Ram Swaraj, what Vajjins and Lichavis and those people had even in my country for 1,200 years. So, I extended loving kindness. I never retaliated because if you are to attain full enlightenment, you have to perfect dana, giving, sila, discipline, nekhamma, that is renunciation, develop wisdom, develop effort, patience, truth, determination, loving kindness and equanimity. 10 principles to attain Buddhahood. So whenever a difficulty comes, this is a chance, opportunity I get to practice it. Sometimes a soldier comes, gives a salute, say, I have orders to kill you, sir. Hey, what a great moment. I believe in the rebirth, so next birth I'll continue this. You go and get your promotion. No, sir, how can I do that? Put it back. Please hide and run away. So it's not, that's an extreme case. But if you have that in mind, no fear. Of course I'm afraid if somebody tortures me. Physical pain nobody likes, but try to avoid as much as possible. But when it comes your way, have the courage. So we have had difficulties. Even today don't say that we don't have difficulties. We have more people than all the political parties put together. Our ambassador promised to come. I hope he is here. No?
He's on his way.
On his way. Otherwise he can report back what I say. So we have more people than all the political parties put together. But we don't engage ourselves in power and party politics. Okay, tell me, I'm at your command. No question, only one.
I don't have time, we just want you to...
It's not me, it's him.
So we will do a common meditation, not vipassana, but the real meditation you should do is vipassana. But when you do mass meditations, say 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people, 100,000 people for peace building, when you generate, try to bring people closer to the non-thinking level. Then you create lot of intuitive kind of energy. Collectively, they can be directed towards other people to change their minds towards peace and reconciliation. We have tried it and it worked. During the war we had. So all can sit without leaning against your chair. Keep your back straight. The nose, the chin and the chest in a straight line. Close your eyes very lightly. Have a slight smile on your face so that scan your body from head to foot with your mind. This body, which I claim to be mine, is a living organism consisting of Pathavi, hardness, Apo, liquidity, Tejo, heat, Vayu, air, expandability and contractibility in space, and this living body, through contact, sensations and perceptions and volitions, have created a mind. I have the illusion that this is I, mine. I realize that I am subject to change, suffering, and I can't find any ego, any I in this except conventionally. However, may my body and mind be healthy. May my mind be free from hatred, free from craving, free from ignorance. May all of us who are assembled here be healthy in body and mind. May all our near and dear ones at home be healthy in body and mind. May all the people in this city, in this country and neighboring countries be well in their body and mind. May the entire living world, humanity, be well in body and mind. May there be peace within me. May there be peace within all of us. May there be peace in our society. May there be peace in our environment. May the energy we generate with loving kindness, forgiveness, beneficence, read the minds of all people in this region, purify their thoughts, build love and brotherhood, leading them to resolution of all conflicts and building peace. May all beings be well and happy. भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वबुद्धानुभावेन सदा सुखी भवन्तु ते भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वधर्मानुभावेन सदा सुखी भवन्तु ते भवतु सर्वमङ्गलं रक्षन्तु सर्वदेवता सर्वसङ्गानुभावेन सदा सुखी भवन्तु ते नक्षत्रभूतानां पापनिवारणा परितस्सानुभावेन हन्तु ते समुपद्रवे देवो वसतु कालेन सस्सम्पत्तिः होतु च पीतो भवतु लोको च राजा भवतु धार्मिको. May all minds of us be pure. May all the rulers be righteous. May there be seasonal rains. May there be agricultural and dharmic prosperity. Thank you.